While everyone's attention was focused on big EV companies like Tesla and Toyota, Maruti Suzuki quietly launched a new energy vehicle that has shaken up the entire auto market. People thought the EV race would now revolve solely around batteries, charging, and range, but Maruti Suzuki has steered the game in a completely different direction. The new CNG avatar of the FRONX is the talk of the town. Without any fanfare or grand events, Maruti has played a masterstroke that is causing unease even in the EV segment. For the common man, who still keeps his distance from expensive electric cars, this vehicle has emerged as a new ray of hope. People are asking whether this CNG vehicle can truly become a real alternative to EVs. Can low cost, better mileage, and reliable technology dim the shine of EVs? Looking at the FRONX, it seems as if Maruti had foreseen the future long ago. While EVs are still struggling with charging networks and battery life, this vehicle directly addresses everyday needs. In this video, we will gradually uncover the layers that have made the FRONX CNG such a big topic of discussion today. What engine technology does it use? Why is its mileage being talked about so much? And why is it challenging the EV market? But before we proceed with the video, please subscribe to the channel so you can be the first to see such videos. Before learning about Maruti Suzuki's new energy vehicle, let's understand its market a little. Because when we see any new car from Maruti Suzuki, it's not just a car. It's directly connected to India's largest auto market. Maruti Suzuki is not just a company, but a part of the daily lives of millions of Indian families. The trust with which people take Maruti's name today has not been built in 1 or 2 years, but over decades. Maruti Suzuki started in 1981 when the Indian government dreamt of making affordable and reliable cars for the common people. At that time, buying a car in India was a very big deal. Cars were expensive, the technology was outdated, and owning a car was just a dream for the average middle-class person. Understanding this need, the government laid the foundation of Maruti Udyog Limited. Later, Japan's Suzuki Motor Corporation joined the project, and this is where the real journey of Maruti Suzuki began. The Maruti 800, launched in 1983, completely transformed the Indian auto industry. For the first time, an ordinary salaried person could fulfill their dream of owning a car. Low price, good mileage, and easy maintenance. These 3 things were what made Maruti a household name. After that, Maruti never looked back. As the Indian economy opened up in the 90s, Maruti's network and model lineup also expanded. Today, if we talk about Maruti Suzuki's market size, it is the largest car manufacturer in India. Its market share in the passenger vehicle segment remains around 40%, which is a huge number in itself. This means that out of every 10 cars sold in India, about 4 are Maruti Suzuki. This figure reflects not only the strength of the brand, but also the trust people have in it. Every year, Maruti Suzuki sells approximately 1.8 to 2 million vehicles. These include everything from small hatchbacks to sedans, SUVs, and now even vehicles with CNG and hybrid technology. Cars like the Alto, Wagon-R, Swift, Baleno, Zaire, Brezza, and now the FRONX have strengthened the company's hold in different segments. Importantly, Maruti's sales are not limited to cities. Its dominance is clearly visible in small towns and villages as well. Maruti Suzuki's service and dealer network further strengthens its market size. The fact that a Maruti service center can be found in almost every corner of the country is why people trust Maruti even before adopting new technologies. While with other companies there is the fear of, what if it breaks down? With Maruti, people are confident that a solution will be readily available. In today's environment, where the buzz around EVs is at its peak, Maruti Suzuki is still not making hasty decisions. The company first understands the market, observes user behavior, and then takes its steps. This is why Maruti focused more on CNG, strong hybrid, and flexible fuel options before venturing into pure EVs. The company knows that in a country like India, not all customers are the same. On a global level, Maruti Suzuki is not limited to India. The vehicles it manufactures are exported to many countries. This not only earns the company foreign exchange, but also requires it to maintain global quality standards, which directly benefits Indian customers. Today, Maruti Suzuki's market presence is so significant that even a single new launch from the company creates a stir across the entire auto sector. Investors, other companies, and even EV players closely watch Maruti's strategy, because history is witness. When Maruti chooses a direction, it is usually aligned with the real needs of the market. This is why Maruti Suzuki's new energy vehicles cannot be taken lightly. Why did the FRONX CNG suddenly become the talk of the town? While the whole world was immersed in the EV hype, with big names like Tesla and Toyota dominating discussions everywhere, it seemed that the future of the auto industry would be solely electric vehicles. Social media, news channels, and YouTube. Everywhere, the conversation revolved around batteries, charging time, range, and the future of EVs. People had accepted that the era of petrol and diesel was coming to an end, and the next step was undeniably EVs. It was at this very moment that Maruti Suzuki, without any fanfare or flashy events, took a step that forced the entire market to reconsider. Instead of jumping into the EV bandwagon, Maruti launched the FRONX CNG. This wasn't a sudden decision, but a quiet, well-thought-out strategy. While everyone was focused on the future being solely electric, Maruti paid attention to the ground reality that in India, millions of people still want EVs, but are held back by the associated fears and costs. This is where Maruti thought differently. They considered offering a car that felt future-ready and modern, but without the intimidation factor. The silent entry of the FRONX CNG conveyed the message that the future isn't just about EVs, but also about practical solutions. And this message gradually resonated with people. The most interesting thing observed after the launch of the FRONX CNG was its sudden surge in popularity. Without any major advertising campaigns, this car became a topic of conversation. Many buyers who were previously considering EVs started looking at the FRONX CNG. The biggest reason for this curiosity was its balance: a modern look, a reliable brand, and low running costs. The average buyer had a simple question: if EVs have charging anxieties, battery concerns, and higher costs, isn't CNG a safer choice? The FRONX CNG fueled this question. Maruti's name itself is a guarantee of trust, and when a stylish SUV-like CNG car came from the same trusted brand, it was bound to generate discussion. What engine technology is actually used in it? When people look at the FRONX CNG and ask, what's so special about it that it's challenging the EV market? The answer lies directly in its engine and technology. While the car looks stylish and modern from the outside, its underlying philosophy is practical and grounded. Maruti Suzuki hasn't used any experimental technology. Instead, they've incorporated engine technology that has been reliably performing for years, but now optimized in a new way. The FRONX CNG is equipped with Maruti's proven 1.2-liter K-Series dual-jet, dual VVT petrol engine, which is offered with a factory-fitted CNG system. The term factory-fitted is crucial here, as it means the CNG system isn't an aftermarket installation, but rather designed by the company itself to work seamlessly with the engine. This makes a huge difference in reliability. The engine, ECU, fuel injection, and safety systems, everything is perfectly tuned to work together. The special thing about this engine is that it works smoothly on both petrol and CNG. Dual-jet technology means that it has 2 fuel injectors for each cylinder. This results in more even fuel combustion, reduced power loss, and better mileage. In simple terms, the engine has to work less hard to breathe and burn fuel. This is why the FRONX doesn't feel sluggish despite being a CNG vehicle, unlike what people commonly assume about CNG cars. Now let's address the fears of CNG that most buyers have. Power will be reduced, pickup will be poor, and overtaking will be difficult. Maruti has specifically tuned the engine mapping to address these concerns. Even in CNG mode, the throttle response is smooth, ensuring it doesn't feel cumbersome during city driving. Even on the highway, the engine runs smoothly at steady speeds, without excessive vibration or noise. This means you don't feel like you're driving a compromised vehicle. Another significant advantage is its lightweight platform and engine balance. The FRONX's lightweight design doesn't put much strain on the engine, resulting in both mileage and engine life. The CNG tank has also been designed to ensure boot space and balance aren't significantly disturbed. These are the small engineering nuances that make a significant difference in daily use. Compared to an EV, the FRONX CNG's technology wins out in a distinct way. The battery is the largest component in an EV, expensive, heavy, and requiring long-term replacement. FRONX CNG has no such tension. The engine is the same reliable internal combustion engine, understood even by local mechanics, and the company has a service network. CNG fuel delivery is simple, without the dependency of charging infrastructure. This simplicity makes it a strong candidate for the mass market. Maruti has also paid special attention to safety. Factory-fitted CNG kits come with a leak detection system, auto fuel cutoff, and reinforced pipes. If an abnormal situation arises, the system automatically cuts off fuel supply. These are features often missing from externally installed CNG kits. Therefore, FRONX CNG is not only economical, but also safe. The biggest advantage of this engine technology is that it acts as a transition technology, meaning for those confused about the EV future, it becomes a bridge. No charging worries, no range anxiety, no high upfront costs, just fill up and go. Maruti has clearly understood that in a country like India, the future won't come in a single path. There will be a gradual shift, and the FRONX CNG is a practical example of that thinking. A common man's perspective. Why EVs still intimidate? When we think from a common man's perspective, EVs don't seem as easy as they seem. While it may be easier for people living in big cities to afford an EV, a large portion of the country still lives in smaller cities, towns, and villages. Residents there harbor not just one, but many fears about EVs. The primary concern is charging. The question is simple. What if the vehicle runs out of battery power midway? Petrol or CNG is available everywhere, but charging stations are still few and far between. Finding a charging station, especially on highways, in villages, and in small towns, can be challenging. This charging tension keeps the common man away from EVs. Another major fear is the cost of batteries. While people are often intimidated by the price when purchasing an EV, the real worry lies in the years ahead. People constantly wonder what happens if the battery fails. The cost of replacing the battery is often said to be equivalent to half the cost of the vehicle. For the average person, who buys a car with great difficulty from their own earnings, this thought is terrifying. They want their car to last for years without any major expenses. This is why people still consider EVs a risk. The third major problem is range anxiety. People who drive 30 to 40 kilometers a day in the city may be able to adjust, but for those who have to travel long distances, owning an EV becomes a question. If they suddenly have to go somewhere, or if plans change along the way, the constant worry about the battery running out is paramount. The average person doesn't like driving with this tension. They want a car in which they can drive with peace of mind, without having to constantly check the meter. Now, if we talk about villages and small towns, the situation is quite different there. In many places, the electricity supply is not reliable. There are power cuts in some areas and voltage fluctuations in others. In such a situation, people wonder what they will do if they can't charge their car at home. There, EVs don't seem like a convenience, but rather a source of trouble. This is why the adoption of EVs is still slow in small towns and villages. This is where Maruti Suzuki correctly identified this fear of the common man. Maruti understood that people want the future, but without fear. They want technology, but one that fits into their daily lives. With this thinking, Maruti focused more on alternatives like CNG instead of EVs. CNG is not a new thing for people. They understand it, know about it, and trust it. Maruti observed that the CNG network has gradually spread to every part of the country. Whether it's small towns or big cities, CNG stations are now easily available. Most importantly, filling up CNG takes the same 5 minutes as filling petrol or diesel. No hours of waiting, no planning anxieties. This is the peace of mind the common man needs. In addition, the maintenance of CNG vehicles is also something people understand. No new or unfamiliar technology, no expensive batteries. If there is ever a problem, a solution can be found at a nearby mechanic or service center. This is the trust that people don't yet have in EVs. Maruti also understood that not everyone in India is ready for EVs. Change happens gradually here. Therefore, it chose a path that fulfills today's needs and also prepares for the future. CNG vehicles offer better mileage at a lower cost, reduce pollution, and are not heavy on the pocket. This is why the common man finds this option safer. FRONX CNG's mileage and running cost game. When it comes to the FRONX CNG, the first thing that comes to the common man's mind is its mileage and daily running cost. For middle-class families, buying a car isn't just about fulfilling a desire, it's also about managing monthly finances. How much fuel will be consumed? What will the monthly expenses be? And how much will be saved annually? These are the questions that come to mind first. The FRONX CNG completely changes the game here. On one hand, people hear big claims about EVs, that the running costs are very low, but when the actual calculations are done, the story gets a little complicated. Whether an EV is truly cheaper or not isn't the same for everyone. The car's price is higher, the charging infrastructure is different, and the electricity bill increases if you charge at home. This leaves many people confused about the actual benefits. With the FRONX CNG, the situation is quite straightforward. The CNG mileage is such that the cost per kilometer is easily understandable. When the average person sees that their daily commute can be done at half the cost, their attention is naturally drawn to it. There's no complicated math involved. Fill up with CNG, drive, and keep track of your expenses. It's that simple. This simplicity is what the middle class appreciates the most. While people are busy calculating batteries, units, and charging times with EVs, the cost is already known with the FRONX CNG. This is why many buyers get confused when comparing EVs and CNG vehicles. Now, let's talk about the perception that has been ingrained in people's minds for years, that CNG is old technology. Based on earlier CNG cars, people assumed that CNG meant a weak engine, less power, and a basic look. But the FRONX has completely changed this perception. Today's CNG is not the same as it was 10 or 15 years ago. It now features better engine tuning, greater balance, and doesn't have the heavy feel that was previously associated with it. The FRONX CNG looks just as modern as any other contemporary car. From the outside, no one can say that it's a car based on old technology. Sitting inside, you realize that it's built for today's times. This change is gradually making its way into people's minds. CNG is now considered not just a necessity, but a sensible option. Mileage, along with maintenance, is a major factor. People think that EVs have lower running costs, but the question of what will happen in the long run remains. On the other hand, the FRONX CNG has a familiar engine. Service costs are predictable, and there's no fear of major problems. This reliability is very important for the middle class. The FRONX has also shown that CNG doesn't just mean a cheap car. Now, CNG can also come with style, comfort, and reliability. The outdated image that people had in their minds is slowly breaking down. Today's CNG cars run cleaner, pollute less, and are also easier on the pocket. Maruti Suzuki's biggest weapon. If you want to understand Maruti Suzuki's true strength in one word, that word is trust. For millions of people in India, Maruti is not just a car manufacturing company, but a name that has been around for years and that people trust blindly. When a family goes to buy their first car, the first name that comes to mind is Maruti. The biggest reason for this is brand trust, which is built not through advertising, but through experience. People have driven Maruti cars, crashed them, kept them for years, and still had the confidence that the car would stand by them. This trust is still Maruti's biggest weapon today. The roots of this trust lie in its service network. Whether it's a small town or a village, a Maruti service center can be found somewhere. If there is even a small problem with the car, people don't worry about what will happen. The local mechanic also understands Maruti cars, and the company's service network is always there. In contrast, when people look at new EV companies, they wonder where they will go if the car breaks down. There aren't EV service centers in every city, and not every mechanic understands EVs. This uncertainty holds people back. The availability of spare parts also strengthens Maruti. Parts for Maruti cars are easily available, and their prices are not very high. If any part needs to be replaced, it doesn't put a heavy burden on the wallet. This is the biggest relief for the common man. This is precisely where EVs become the weakest link. Batteries, motors, and electronic parts are expensive and not readily available everywhere. People wonder how much it will cost if something major breaks down. This very thought weakens their confidence. Now let's talk about resale value, which is very important for the middle class. In India, most people don't buy a car to keep it forever. They also think about selling it after a few years. Maruti cars have always had a good resale value. Old Maruti cars sell easily and fetch a decent price. This confidence hasn't yet been established in the case of EVs. People don't know what the price of an EV will be after 5 or 7 years, or what the condition of the battery will be. This uncertainty becomes the weakest point for EV companies. This is why Maruti Suzuki is still treading very cautiously instead of blindly jumping into the EV race. Maruti knows that the Indian market runs on trust, not emotions. If that trust is broken, the customer doesn't come back. Therefore, the company doesn't want to rush things. Now, When we talk about Maruti's long-term master plan, the story gets even more interesting. Maruti hasn't stopped at just the FRONX CNG. This isn't just one car, but part of a larger vision. Maruti understands that the future in India won't be driven by a single technology. Here, CNG, hybrid, and EV, all three will have to coexist. Every customer has different needs, and every region has different conditions. Some live in cities, others in villages. Some travel long distances daily, others only short distances in their neighborhood. Maruti is planning with this diversity in mind. CNG is Maruti's strong weapon for today, hybrid is a balanced approach, and EV is preparation for the future. But Maruti wants to do all this together, gradually and in a balanced way. They don't want to push customers into a technology they aren't ready for. That's why Maruti first observes the market, understands people's habits, and then takes action. The suspense lies in when and how Maruti will take its next big step. The day is not far when Maruti will also launch an EV, but that day will come when the questions of charging, cost, and reliability are clearly answered. Until then, Maruti is managing the market with its strong network, trust, and sensible options. If you like such auto videos explained in simple language, subscribe to the channel now. Here we provide straightforward and honest information without any jargon. Like and share the video and press the bell icon so that you receive every new update first.